Now at 6, 3 people are dead in Idaho this morning, including 2 firefighters and the suspected shooter. We'll tell you what police there believe led up to that incident. Plus,
I will put that at the feet of the folks who could have made that happen, and that is the Republican leadership.
Governor Kotek blaming Oregon Republicans for failing to pass the massive transportation bill during the final hours of the legislative session. We'll have reaction from Republicans coming up.
And starting tomorrow, you will have to pay more to take Uber or Lyft in Portland. Why City Council is increasing the flat rider fee and how much it'll cost you ahead. Your 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts now. A very good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Domrod in for China Today.
And I'm Drew Carney. Stephanie, you should have been here the last couple of weeks. We got to do traffic all the time while Chris McGinnis was on a long vacation.
Where were you, Chris?
Now you miss me.
The man's back. Where were you? Stephanie's asking.
In Georgia, visiting the in-laws, and then the Florida Panhandle, Seacrest Beach. Absolutely gorgeous. The water, bathtub warm, and it thunderstormed every afternoon, and it was unbelievably humid.
I was going to say, you look tanner than I remember.
I wore 50 sunscreen like head to toe every day, but
this Chris McGinnis vacation recap brought to you by AAA.
I love it. Sounds good.
Yes, they do sponsor our traffic report, by the way.
Oh,
there you go. I was aware of who's sponsoring what, Chris. Hey, Rodney, what do you got for us weather-wise?
Yeah, I'm just the old fool that's been here forever. On a daily basis, we have the Rose City camera for you. Beautiful clear sky morning. This is the comfortable part of your day. Take advantage. Going to be hotter today than it was yesterday. 63 is the current number. Here come your day planner temps. KGW weather impact alert in red, just to grab your attention to plan around the heat today. We'll do the impact alert from noon until 8 p.m. 81 at noon, not bad, but heating up. There's the 95-degree temperature at 5 o'clock. So obviously you'll want to be aware of exhaustion, sunburn, heightened risk, shade, water, sunscreen, all that needed for a hot afternoon. Here he is, Chris McGinnis.
All right, thank you for that, Rod. Let's get you out the door. 217 southbound has reopened after that weekend closure, and here's the deal on the 217 auxiliary lanes project. They're basically done on the southbound side of the freeway. There will be northbound closures coming up later this summer, but for now, it's a nice smooth ride out there. Traffic is light as well on that side of town. We look pretty good. The trip through Wilsonville looks good as well. Traffic getting a little bit busier, but so far no problems out there, guys. And right now, as we look at the map, we're all green and we're at a speed limit clip here. Inbound from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. Just an 8-minute drive, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Our top story this morning takes us to Idaho, where 2 firefighters were killed and a third was seriously hurt in a shooting near Coeur d'Alene.
The suspected shooter was also found dead in that same area, about 30 miles from Spokane. This all began yesterday afternoon as the firefighters were responding to a wildfire on Cantfield Mountain. After they arrived, it was reported that someone shot them. The local sheriff's office says the shooter likely set the fire to set up this ambush.
We do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush and it was intentional.
After the shooting, surrounding areas were placed in a lockdown, and at one point law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the shooter. He was later found dead with a gun nearby. Officials are still working to identify the shooter and determine a motive. We're also following this developing story for you in northwest Portland, where a shelter in place remains in effect this morning. Police are looking for 2 people who took off after a shooting last night near Northwest 26th and Petty Grove. Reports of possible gunfire came in around 9 o'clock. 4 suspects were initially on the run, but police caught 2 of them. The other 2 remain on the loose. Police are asking neighbors in that part of northwest Portland to stay inside while the search continues. The Oregon legislature failed to pass one of its biggest goals this legislative cycle, a transportation bill worth more than $11 billion.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now in studio. And Thomas, what did lawmakers have to say about this over the weekend?
Well, Drew and Stephanie, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek says that at the end of the day, the bill was too big and too complicated, but says Republicans are to blame for its failure. Now, across the aisle, Republicans lob blame back at the Democrats.
People couldn't come together as Oregonians to fund that, and I will put that at the feet of the folks who could have made that happen, and that is the Republican leadership.
Their best idea was to crush Oregonians with more costs and more taxes. We're talking about an agency that needed a few $100 million to balance, and their response was a $12 billion transportation tax.
So what would this bill have done? Well, it laid out a plan to raise money for ODOT and other agencies through a gas tax hike. and a new pay-per-mile tax system for electric vehicles. Though even after the bill died Friday, the volley of political attacks continued. Over the weekend, Republicans said they made several attempts to negotiate a balanced budget for ODOT during the legislative cycle. Those say Democrats rebuffed their ideas. Kotek and the Democrats redirected, arguing Republicans blocked a slimmed-down version of the bill, which could have saved hundreds of jobs. Regardless of who is to blame, there's big repercussions with this bill's failure and big cuts for ODOT. In a statement on Saturday, ODOT says next week ODOT will begin the layoff process. By the end of July, hundreds of positions will no longer be at ODOT. The agency adds Oregonians will soon have a less reliable transportation system, though they say they'll do everything they can to keep within its resources to keep Oregonians safe. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us this morning here in studio. Meanwhile, starting tomorrow, taking an Uber or Lyft ride in Portland will cost you more money. The city is bumping up its rideshare surcharge from 65 cents a ride to $2 a ride. The city approved that hike last month. It expects the higher charge will generate about $10 million a year for the Portland Bureau of Transportation, which officials say is underfunded. The $2 rideshare surcharge, by the way, means that Portland now has the highest flat rider fee in the entire country. That's on top of whatever you pay for time, distance, or surge pricing. Some similar sized cities charge no extra fees. Others charge less than $1. We heard from local rideshare drivers who said this steep increase is going to end up hurting their wallets.
Yeah, that seems like quite a big jump.
Not happy about it because I think we're going to get less people now because it's too expensive.
It is high. Yeah, I mean, it's high, and I am actually afraid that the number of rides are going to decrease.
A lot of customers nowadays getting a rental car because of that, because the prices are raising up.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Uber said, quote, applying such an expensive fee citywide for everyday trips without any clear justification is not something we see in other markets.
In Washington, election officials say more than 2,000 ballots had to be rejected in last November's election. The reason, mismatched signatures that were found on the ballots of young voters. This happened in Pierce County, where a little more than half of those disqualified ballots came from voters between the ages of 18 and 26. 18-year-olds were the largest group, with 190 of their ballots never being counted. Starting today, Pierce County is mailing out postcards to the county's 70,000 youngest voters, urging them to make sure their signatures match.
190 is enough to sway an election one way or the other, and so we want to make sure that these young people have their correct signature on file.
You can update your signature anytime online or at your county elections office.
All right, take a look at this. Lots of people in line this weekend for the Post Malone and Jelly Roll concert. A huge line outside Providence Park on Saturday. Tens of thousands of people waiting to get inside. About 30,000 people were there for the concert. Take a listen.
We didn't have any issues. Parking down here is crazy, but yeah, we didn't have any issues at all.
I love what it's bringing to Portland. It's bringing new acts in. It's bringing more down to all of the eateries and everything, which I think is amazing. Portland's cleaning up. It's looking good again. I like it.
So parking, we heard, was a struggle for a lot of people, but also for the first time, tickets doubled as fare for TriMet buses, the Max Line, and Portland streetcars. So yeah, lots of people. That was really the big story right there, gang. Lots of people waiting for a long time to get into that concert.
A good day to get outside and be outside on Saturday, but things really started heating up yesterday, Rod, and today is going to be even hotter, right?
Yeah, yesterday we hit 90. That was day number 3. We're counting 90-degree plus days, of course, as we always do during the overall summer heat season. And today will be day 4, projecting 95. So you'll feel the difference between it was 90 and today 95. The Weather Service, no advisories from thetheir office for the Willamette Valley or Southwest Washington, but we do have an advisory from the Dalles out into the Columbia Basin, and it does include Pendleton for today and tomorrow. The coolest spots will be mid-90s. The hotter spots will be 100, 102, 103. So again, 2 days of heat advisory for you folks. Here's the rising sun over Portland. Nice and comfy out there this morning. In fact, really nice outside. We have light winds, clear skies, 63 degrees. Take advantage of the morning hours. The bricks Will be hot this afternoon. Again, current temperature is 63, the view from the Pioneer Park building. And here's our planner. We have issued a KGW weather impact alert for this afternoon into early evening, just to grab your attention to plan around the heat if it tends to bother you. 81 degrees at noon, 95 at 5 p.m. Record today, by the way, is 100. Most records now moving forward into the month of August are, in fact, 100 degrees or hotter. All right, temperatures outside right now. We have the clear sky. 68 up in Scappoose, the warm spot on the map. Coolest spot would be 54. You folks up in Sandy. Estacada also sharing that number. Salem, good morning. 64 is your temperature. I believe the fog will push out and we'll get at least varying sun areas at the beach. This shows temperatures up to about 70 in Tillamook. Astoria, you were in the 70s yesterday. Thunderstorm threat in Southern Oregon, building up into potentially Central Oregon late afternoon or this evening. Here's the 7-day forecast. Once we get through today, 95. Tomorrow we get more of a moderating flow off the Pacific waters, 87, still warm. And then a further drop in temperature on Wednesday and Thursday. And right now we've got dry weather and 80 plus into your July 4th holiday weekend. That's your update.